Today, we're going to cover two important tools, the seller's kit and the buyer's kit. Now, look, when I was first getting started in the business, they called these presentations. You had a listing presentation and a buyer presentation, which we consider the buyer consultation today. Okay. It is something that, to be honest with you, I've actually fully incorporated this into my business during COVID. Back in, let's say, early 2020, when things were around this time, actually, in 2020, a few years ago. And we didn't necessarily have buyer consultations, right? What we did was we made sure clients were approved.
In progress.
We went out, we met clients face to face, we showed some homes, and we kind of walked through the process. But since then, it's evolved because, well, for one main reason, I'll maybe two. I'll give you two. One, well, time is money, right? Let's be honest. At the end of the day, time equals money. We want to be able to set the expectation, break down the process, instead of just getting in our vehicles, driving around and showing homes aimlessly without setting any type of expectation. And the other reason was, well, if we could avoid that face-to-face contact back then, that was probably for the best, right? We wanted to limit that interaction. Well, since then, things have eased up. But the buyer consultation is something that I strongly believe in, something that I incorporate in my transactional business on a day-to-day basis. And what we wanted to do was we wanted to create a buyer's kit to kind of create that presentation type feeling, to give or to set that expectation when you're working with a buyer. And now with the seller, of course, you guys want something tangible. When you're talking to sellers, when you're talking to buyers, it's one thing to walk the walk or talk the talk. You see, I've been doing this for a long time. My buyer presentation or my consultation, I don't run through a guideline. I know what I need to ask. But how does that help you, right? Or anybody watching this on a later recording? You will get there if you're not there already. But still, what I've found with the new buyer kit that we created, as good as I believe I am, and no one can tell me different, I believe I'm the best in the world at what I do. We should all feel that way, right? It's still nice to give your buyer something, because just because you're able to answer all those questions, and look, what we do for a living is we professionally repeat ourselves. It's nice to have a guideline, and that's why we created the kit. So I'm going to get in. We'll lead with the buyer kit, first half of the call. Then we'll get into the seller kit. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Make sure everybody can see that. I'm going to open this up. Guys, I want you to keep a couple things in mind as we break this down. If you don't have one already, I can send you one, but I do need one thing from you. And for the record, these have been professionally proofread by a couple teachers in our organization, okay? So if you have version 1.0, you might want to upgrade it to version 2.0, which is what you're going to be seeing today. Because apparently, there were some grammatical errors. Guys, I'm not a teacher. I'm a realtor, right? So anyway, with that being said, it's been updated, it's been proofread, and this is the buyer's kit. Because this is a PDF. It's very simple. Can you print this out and can you give this to a buyer? Absolutely. Right? And you're asking yourself, well, Mike, when do I give this to my client? Well, you can do it one of two ways. One, you can wait for them to be pre-approved, or even prior to, right? Supplying your clients with information from day one never hurt, right? Pass it along to them. But before you pass it along to them, make sure you understand the process. If it's one thing, guys, to know how to do something, and I say this very often, it's another to know how to teach it. Okay? Because we know that we know the process, right? And whether we're working with a first-time home buyer, a fifth-time home buyer, it doesn't matter, right? We can't automatically assume. When I talk about baselining the process, that's what I mean. Baseline the process. Treat everybody alike. Okay, so if your client's familiar with something, oh, I already know that. Okay, fine. No worries. Good. We're on the same page, okay? But I guarantee you they're going to miss something in the process. They can. We can't. So before you go ahead and you start issuing this out to your clients as a little welcome gift, let's break down the process together, make sure you understand it. And that's what we're here to do today, to help you understand exactly what it is you are passing along to your client. A bit of information. First page is the start of your journey, okay? Your name. That's what we're going to put here. This is our template. I need a picture. Send me a photo, okay? I'll get that in there. Next, we go into a little team background. Okay? Because we have a lot of agents who start who are brand new. They're concerned. They're concerned because they're worried about what the client is going to say or the questions that they're going to get approached with. Well, guys, leverage your team. Leverage what we've been able to do. I need to actually update this because our sales have gone up since this was proofread. But nevertheless, right, a little team background, a little bit about our history. They have an opportunity to learn a little bit about us as an organization. Remember, you guys are solo agents. This is not a team. This is a family. That's who we are as an organization. We don't take anything, okay? But it doesn't mean you don't want to or you can't leverage who you've partnered with, right? That gives you a step up. This is very thought out, very well put together, right? So you have our team background, our history. And guys, what you will notice between the buyer kit and the seller kit is they're going to be very similar, rather. They're going to be very similar in regards of team background and history, okay? Obviously, the process is going to change. But if you guys aren't already familiar, learn about who we are as an organization. Go visit our website. We are thecolonyexp.com, okay? Which just launched last week. But feel free to share that. Feel free to leverage that. It's really, it's more of a recruiting tool, guys. It's more of a partnering tool more than anything. But that is also version 1.0 of our website. But feel free to share that with your clients as well. This is who we are. This is the type of training we get. These are the type of resources we have. This is the type of experience that we have. Same thing when we're partnering with agents. Generic, and then we lead into the buying process. We need to understand the buying process so that as we can articulate that to our buyer clients. Determining buying power with the pre-approval. That's where it all starts, guys. Okay? We can sit there and I can have a 2-hour buyer consultation with a client. However, if you do not know what they've been pre-approved for, everything you're doing is somewhat in vain. Can you explain the market forecast? Sure. Supply and demand. Can you go over that? Yes. But generally speaking, if we don't know what the client is approved for, it's going to be really hard to navigate that entire conversation. So that's where we like to start, right? We want to protect their time and we want to protect our time, if that makes sense. Right? We always put it, we just want to save you as much time as humanly possible. This is our first step. As soon as we have this, then what we're going to do is we're going to set up, our next call. I'm not saying don't get on the phone with them, right? But what are we going to do? Why are we breaking down the process for somebody who may not be ready for another 6 to 12 months? Things can change in 6 to 12 months. The market can shift in 6 to 12 months. Interest rates can go up. They can go down in 6 to 12 months, which is really going to dictate the flow of your conversation when you're working with a buyer. Okay. Next, a comprehensive breakdown of wants and needs. This is very important because, and then you may know this, but this is something that they need to see. We didn't create the buyer kit for us. We created the buyer kit for the client. But again, we need to know the types of steps that we should be taking, right? Custom MLS search, email campaigns with up-to-date listings. Very important stuff. If we don't have a budget, we can't do those things, right? So one thing is going to supersede the next, okay? Now you're going to professionally schedule and coordinate showings. Very important. We need to get you into homes, okay? You're going to tour homes until yours has been found. You're going to break down offers and terms, right? During a consultation, you can break that down with them, right? Dialogue and communication is created with the listing agent. You're explaining to them the things that you are going to do, okay? You're going to be clear and concise when your offer is being submitted with a follow-up plan, okay? We get it accepted. Well, we're going to have to set the initial terms and negotiations, okay? We're going to prepare contracts. We're going to send welcome emails, right? Transaction file started, contract review, the whole process from A to Z, right? All the way through settlement. We know that's where it starts, right? You got to get pre-approved and we got to close. What about everything in between then? It's important. And the way that you do things, that's your prerogative, okay? You may bounce around on this list. Goodness, I know I bounce around on this list from time to time. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. There's things that, well, here we go. Prepare utility transfer. I have 2 settlements coming up. I have 2 closings on Friday. And I think I just let my clients know this morning, hey, here are the utility companies. Prepare to transfer them into your name. You know, obviously effective settlement date, which is Friday. Guys, it's a simple thing to forget. That's a simple thing to forget. In the beginning of my career, that's something that I forgot. We'd be at settlement, right? We'd go through walkthrough, everything would be on. We'd be at settlement, okay? We'd close, they'd go back, everything would be on. 3 days later, the gas and electric is off. Well, did you think the seller was going to keep it in their name forever? No, right? Simple things, small things. But what you could also do, although we created this for the client, is you can use it as a resource for yourself, as a reminder. Again, even though I go through this with my client without having the tangible item in my hand, the kit, the tool, it's probably not a bad idea that I take a look at this checklist that we created during the process. Right? They're looking at it. They're like, hey, Mike, number 21 says prepare for utility transfer. You're right. Okay. Let me grab those companies for you. Let me get the contact numbers for you. Let's get ready to transfer those utilities into your name. Okay. Side note, guys, if you're representing a seller, okay, give the courtesy a 3-day window. Don't cancel utilities on the day of settlement. If you represent this, tell them it's 3 days. Okay. It's a couple of bucks. Keep everything on. Right. The water is going to be handled by the title company if it's public. Okay. Same thing with the sewer that gets handled all at settlement. But the gas and electric, keep it on for a few days. Okay. Now, look, if it's 3-4 days later and the new buyer hasn't transferred the utilities into their name and your client is calling to confirm whether that's happened or not, okay, have them reach out to you, extend the courtesy, give them another 24 hours. If it's not done, kill them. Okay, guys, don't take that. I mean the utilities. Okay, shut them off. Okay, because this is not a charity. At the end of the day, it's a courtesy. Right? Then, so we had the buying process 1 through 21. Could there be a few more things in here? Sure. You can create, you can add, you can take away, you can do whatever you want. It is a resource. It is a tool for you. But EXP also has the home buying process broken down. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different processes. Okay. We have 21. Is ours a little more detailed? Sure. Do we throw this in there? Right. Flow chart, graphics, make it look pretty, have it branded. Absolutely. Okay. Right. It's basically the same exact thing. So you have the process all in front of you. Then we have a blank page for your preferred lender. Correction. Can anybody tell me if we can have a preferred lender? I just sip my coffee.
No, you got to have at least 2.
Boom. Money. Thank you, Kevin. I have a lender here. That's singular. I should have an S here. It should be plural. Guys, what you'll also notice is I put a disclaimer in here for all of us, okay? Very simple. It's to protect us. It's a CYA. Any and all professional services or products listed herein are solely recommendations. eXp nor its representatives make any guarantees or representations thereof regarding reliability, liability, or insurance provided by services or product providers, okay? They should still do their due diligence, but you should always, always, always give more than one option, okay? And if you guys are new, right, or you're establishing yourselves in your career, you should always have, I have the ones I love, okay? We all do. I have one in particular that I have been working with since I was in the business from day one. Of course, he's on my list, okay? But you need options. Options give you options, okay? So preferred lenders. What about preferred inspector? Okay, that's singular. Preferred inspectors, okay? List them off here. One thing that I have learned to put it in here and to protect you, okay, is another paragraph disclaimer. And let me put this over here. These inspectors can also order your wood burrowing insect inspections as well as radon inspection. Now, I go on to state, if you believe and feel it's necessary to go above and beyond that, such as inspecting for mold, lead-based paint, sewer lines, etc., or if your home has a pool, please discuss those options with your inspector. And then I reiterate, right, the last disclaimer that I have on every page. Guys, love home inspectors. They're great. Some of them are one-stop shops. Some of them aren't, okay? But make sure that you're educating your clients. You throw in one home inspector, or you're just texting your client, hey, use this guy, he's the best, and something goes south, I'm not saying you're going to be held liable for that, okay? They have insurance for things of that nature. But at the same time, protect yourselves, okay? Let your clients know their options. They are paying somebody roughly $200 to $300 an hour to do their job, okay? Shop it around. Make sure you get the inspections that you're looking for, because they all have to be completed. I don't care what state you're located in, guys, within your due diligence period, okay? The period opens, the period closes. Make sure your client is exhausting all of that, okay? Inspecting for whatever they're looking to have inspected. Then I go on with preferred attorney. Now, again, singular should be plural. Guys, I don't know, okay, if your state allows you, we could pull this page out, okay, but I'll use New Jersey as a baseline. I use an attorney on, I want to say 100% of my deals. That's not necessarily true. I would say on 95% of my deals, okay? You give them options. Give them options. If you are in a state that utilizes attorneys, utilize an attorney. Okay. Is anybody here in a state that doesn't utilize attorneys? Or is anybody here on this call feel one way or another? Are they indifferent about using an attorney? Anybody? Because this is
Maryland, we don't use attorneys in the process at all.
But let me ask you a question, Tom. Can you use an attorney?
Oh, sure. I mean, they can. Sure. I mean, like, one of my title guys is an attorney, but he doesn't have to be. He's just, but all my documents go through eXp Maryland Broker Review.
This is true. So the same thing applies to New Jersey. Okay. Here's the thing. Every contract is going to be different depending on what state. I know Cam's in here. I don't know if her state, if they require attorneys or not. But here's the thing. In New Jersey, as a baseline, okay, Form 118 with Opinion 26 is our agreement of sale. If you read, which you guys should always be reviewing your standard forms and documents, even your proprietary forms with eXp, Okay. Make sure you guys are going to your state broker orientations and your state broker offered classes also. Whether they do contracts, trainings. Guys, we're not the only, we're a source, we're not the resource. Okay. We're not the one, right? We're an option. Okay. And we love having you here and we're here to pour into you. But EXP offers a lot. And I mean, guys, I can go on for days talking about the trainings. And if you don't want to go to any of them, don't. But if I can make a recommendation, it is to attend your state trainings, sales meetings, okay? Your state contract. Those trainings are very important. Why, guys? Because proprietary forms are one thing. Those are actually constantly changing. And then our standard forms are changing. And the point I'm trying to make is, as a baseline with Form 118 with Opinion 26, was the New Jersey Standard Agreement of Sale. If you read the first page, the first half of the page, the first 5 paragraphs, they're going to encourage you, if you are the consumer, to definitely hire an attorney, okay? Doesn't mean you shouldn't, even if you are using an attorney, doesn't mean you shouldn't understand the contract. But we can't answer legal questions. It's as simple as that. Okay. We can't. So if your client has a legal question, what are you going to do? You're going to answer it? You're going to give them legal advice? Don't do that. Okay. Guys, attorneys are fantastic, in my opinion. Now, this can be a great debate, and I'll save that for another call. If when Dan gets on one of these calls, we'll go back and forth about attorneys, at least in New Jersey. But they don't just review contracts, okay? They order title, they prepare deeds, they negotiate repairs, okay? I mean, the attorney that I have right now, one of the ones that I'm using, fantastic, right? The paralegal's wonderful. The attorney's excellent. They handle everything. We have a solar transfer. You think I want to be bothered with that? No, they're going to reach out to the listing agent, make sure that transfer is initiated. I don't want to deal with that stuff, right? Review the contract. What happens when you're in attorney review for 3 days and the 3rd day is over, right? What happens then? Did anybody even review anything? No. And you could just let time pass and then you can enter into your due diligence period, which is fine. But, again, and I'll keep this brief, but if you can use one, use one. Peanuts to an elephant, guys. I've seen on the high end $2,200 per transaction for an attorney. I've seen on the low end $900 for an attorney. Okay, you get what you pay for. The ones that I recommend are right in the middle, $1,200 to $1,500 per transaction, $1,600, and it's a flat fee. It's a flat fee. Your client's spending hundreds of thousands. Okay, so I think it's peanuts to an elephant. I think it's a no-brainer. I think for the amount of work that they do versus what they're compensated, it's a no-brainer, especially if the other side is using an attorney. You fight fire with fire. I can't tell you how many times where my client has had an attorney and the seller and the listing agent don't, but the listing agent wants to act as if they're the attorney. Okay. But just a bad look, guys. There's no transaction. There's no check. There's no deal worth losing your license over. But I'm very buttoned up. That's the way I do things. I'm very by the book. But I digress. The point is, preferred attorneys, put them on here. Let them go out there and do their due diligence, shop prices. I don't put prices on these sheets, okay? I put contact information. They can reach out and they can inquire about the fees, okay? Same thing with lenders. Origination fees, right? Application fees, inspectors, same thing. What are your fees? What's included? Attorneys, same thing. Okay. Yes, you are the professional. And yes, you're there to help hold your client's hands. But at the same time, you have to work in tandem together as a team, right? That's the way I articulate it. Even with my sellers, we work together. We work together. It's as simple as that. A lot of agents want to do everything, and that's completely fine too. And I'm one that prefers control too. I need control. I need to have a grasp. I don't have a transaction coordinator. I don't have a personal assistant. I handle all that myself, right? But at the same time, I set the expectation when I'm working with a client that we're going to work together. Okay. All right. Like that's my goal, to help you achieve yours. I don't care if you buy a home. Don't care if you sell it. It's not going to affect me one way or another. It's not. You want to buy a home? Then I care. I want to help you buy a home. You want to sell your home? Okay. Let's work together to accomplish that. But that's the buyer's kit. It's as simple as that. Preferred attorney. Last page. Very simple. A little bit about yourself. Hey, guys, by the way, in the start of your journey, real simple. Welcome to the start of your home buying journey. Can you guys guess what the seller's kit says? Welcome to the start of your home selling journey. Okay. It's the same thing. We're grateful for your trust during one of the most important processes and purchases of your life. Obviously, flip that with the sale. We've created this guide as a resource to help navigate the home selling process for you. But please remember, we're always available to answer any questions at any time. Okay. We throw in we, because when they get you, they get us. Okay. They get your state broker room. Okay. They get everything. We're here to support you guys. And that's the buyer's kit. I'll pop your beautiful picture right in here. That's all I need. And I will email it right over to you guys. Study it, learn it, understand it, change it, use it, don't use it. Run your business how you want to run your business. But add value. Add value to your clients. If you don't think for a second that this will make you look more professional, whether they open it once while they're sitting on a toilet, or they're laying in bed, or they're stuck in traffic, or they read it a million times, it doesn't matter. You added value. You went above and beyond. You didn't have to do this. I can't tell you how many times, guys, that I've worked with a client and I've given them nothing. Excellent service. You get the referrals and you get the beautiful reviews. And I was like, I don't need this. Silly. Why wouldn't you want to give them something? Give them something that's branded, that has your name on it. Okay. But that's the buyer's kit. Now what we're going to do is we're going to transition into the seller's kit. But before we do that, does anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns while we're here together about the buyer kit? Okay. Seller's kit. Again, can you imagine? Start of your journey, home selling, right? Let's see. I should probably process and sale of your life. I should probably change that, but it's the same thing. Okay, guys. Team background in our history, the same thing. Now, when you are working with a seller, I'm not going to lie to you. It's probably a little more detail oriented, this kit. It's going to have a little more information. We've put in a beautiful seller's roadmap, right? Because we want to make sure that they're prepared, that we're setting the expectation. How many times do we go out there and we take a listing and there's something, forgot. I forgot to find out when they're even going to be available to show the home, but it goes live tomorrow. Oh, that's a bad look, right? It's going live in 2 days. I didn't even schedule photography. Did I tell them then are they prepared? Is the home prepared? Did they declutter? Right? Depersonalize? A lot of things, guys. There's a lot of things, but there's a seller's roadmap. Okay. And again, it's just information. I'm not going to go line by line over here. Okay. It's something that I want you guys to take a look at. Now, I did put in our marketing strategy. This is something that we have worked on for you guys as a benefit. If you can read this and you can understand this, then you can speak it. You can utilize it. Okay. But at the end of the day, like they say it with everything else in sales, it's not the person with the most sales that wins. It's the best marketer that wins. Okay. And as a professional marketer, your home has a story. This is one of my favorite lines. This is a line that I've been using for years. And it's my job to tell it and sell it. Okay. This is a little bit, guys. Okay. As part of our 88-point plan, I start with a captivating description, professional photography, and marketing, which includes an element of aerial videography and a video tour walkthrough. You don't want this? You don't like this? Don't use it. All right. You let your clients know, depending on the price point or depending on the fee that you've negotiated. Okay. Maybe you're not going to include videography. Maybe you're not going to do a video tour walkthrough. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Okay. Nevertheless, this is especially important when we talk about social media and target marketing. I go on to state with our organization, blah, blah, blah. Read it, guys. I put it together line for line, and I had a teacher edit it. But, if we slide down to even geo-target marketing via social media and Google, these are things that we can do. Does that make sense to you guys? Does that make sense? Everything that's in this marketing strategy to help sell a home are things we can do. Whether you do them or not, that's on you. This is your business. Okay. That's your prerogative. You don't like this page, take it out. Okay? But what I want you to understand is that there's options out there. Well, what's going to separate you from the competition? Can anybody tell me? Very simple. With you, you have a plan. Okay. That's all the consumer wants to know. That's all the seller wants to know. You have a plan. Look, if you present this to your client and you're not doing a video walkthrough and you're not targeting, ads on YouTube, Google, Facebook, on social media, you're being a little deceptive. These are things that you absolutely can do. Doesn't mean you have to do them all. Okay. We know what most agents do. Put the home in the MLS. And they hope for the best. Don't be average. Another thing that I want to discuss is, at the very least, promise me, I don't care about the price point, that you are going to hire professional photographers to shoot your home. Guys, it is a write-off. It is an expense. You owe it to your client. Do not walk in there and shoot the home with your cell phone. Don't do it. You are a professional. If you need a service, let me know. I'll find one in your state. If you're in New Jersey, I got you. Be a professional. What about descriptions? Guys, I don't care if you use ChatGPT. They'll write beautiful descriptions for you. Okay? Put together at least half of a decent marketing strategy. Okay? Right? In this market, depending on where you're located, it's not going to take much still to sell a home. But we know it consists of two things: marketing and pricing. You need both elements. We talked about the 88-point plan. Are you going to do all of this? Believe it or not, a lot of this stuff gets done just by posting or entering that listing in the MLS. Okay. But can you do all 88 things here? Yeah. Right? What if you gave, or you sent your client seller an update every week? These are the next 4 things that we're going to be doing to help sell your home, to engage and generate more activity. These are the things that we're going to do. Right? This is our week 4. This is our week 3 plan, our week 4 plan, our week 5 plan. Okay. So it looks as if you're always working, or that you're at least not going to run out of things that you're going to do in order to help get this home sold. And if you look at some of these things, right, provide open houses as necessary. Guys, doesn't that go without saying? Wrong. It goes with saying. It's part of our 88-point marketing plan. Okay. Continually research comparables to make sure our price is right. Number 58. Yeah. If we're not getting offers, it's exactly what we're going to do. Okay. Perform ongoing curb appeal assessments as necessary. Is the home falling apart? Right? Or are we getting behind on the landscaping? Are your clients absentee owners, out of state? It is our job to do those things. I've had clients who are absentee, out of state. I personally out of pocket. I put my fee back on the sheet, of course, for all my expenses. I had to get the carpets professionally cleaned, and I need to get the lawn cleaned up. You know, I put at the $500-600, and I got it back at settlement. I have no problem doing that, right? Because I knew I was going to sell the home. That was never a doubt in my mind, right? But also, sidebar, guys, this is your client's responsibility. These things are your client's responsibilities. Okay. But in this case, in my case, it was an absentee owner. How about a pricing strategy? Well, how are you going to dictate the price? How are you going to come up with the price? Right. What I do when running comparables is typically a 6-month, 2-mile radius comparative market analysis on all homes similar in criteria to your home that are currently active and that have recently sold. That's what I care about. That's what I care about. I've gone back and forth with clients / friends, agents, right? How'd you come up with that? Guys, it's my professional opinion, just like it's your professional opinion, but you need a professional opinion. And if you don't have support for your professional opinion, what are you doing? Are you pulling numbers out of a hat? Well, the seller wants me to list it for this. Get it in writing. Then get it in writing. Okay. Everything you do in this business should be in writing. Every change in writing, documented. Every conversation, if you can, if it bears any importance, you should get it in writing. I contact an agent and give him a verbal offer, that is. I'm following up and I'm putting it in writing. Okay. Everything. But we do have a pricing strategy here, and I want you guys to look it over. Okay. Keep in mind, I'm not a mind reader. If you do not email me, let it with a picture saying you'd like one of these, I'm not going to send it to you. Okay. You need to let me know. How about the fee structure? Again, different in every state. So one thing about New Jersey is that it's negotiable. You can't just put it on the contract, that being the listing agreement, but it doesn't say I can't put it in my marketing material. My fee is 5%. Now I switch that up. For my Ocean County, it's 5%. For anything north of Burlington County, I'll say it's 5%. That's industry standard. Anything south of that is 6%. It's standard for South Jersey. But you can do whatever you can charge whatever you guys want to charge. But my fee, but I need to let them know why and how my fee is structured. My fee is 5%, which is split with the cooperating broker who brings us a ready, willing, and able buyer. We openly participate with brokerages and buyer representatives in order to get your home sold as quickly as possible. These brokerages are incentivized to cooperate with us for a shared portion of the agreed upon commission. In turn, we split the 5%, 2.5, 2.5. I'm not making 5, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. Okay. I'm splitting it. And again, this is my business. This is how I run my business. You may take 5% and you may tell the seller, look, 88-point marketing plan, photography, market, everything. We charge you 5, I take 3, I co-op 2. It is what it is. Probably not going to give you any kickback. The cooperating agents may not, they may not love you too much, but nor here nor there. But I let my clients know that in that fee, there's no additional fees for photography, videography, or target marketing. This is all at my expense, not my brokerages. Not my brokerages. Not my clients, but my own. I personally take on those associated costs at my own risk because I don't believe in upcharging my clients for additional services. I'm a one-stop shop. Don't like it? Take it out. Okay. And guys, these aren't PDFs, so you really can't, but you can go out there and I can take out all the wording. I'll send you basically the PDFs blank with no words in it, but I will not go in there and change word for word. Guys, I'm sorry. I don't have the bandwidth. This could just be a resource or a guideline for you to create your own. That's completely fine too. This is what we've created. Okay. And again, what about maybe you don't want to use it? Maybe you want to read it, right? You want to study it. You want to master it. You create your own, or you just want to verbally or text and put it in email to your client. Then do that. You do whatever you want to do. Okay. Typically when I go into a listing agreement, when I go into a listing appointment, I don't take anything. But I'm not you and you're not me. You want something, take something with you. EXP has a ton of resources. If you guys are not on EXP Enterprise and you're not looking at the brand resources, the marketing material, right, then you're missing out. There's so much this brokerage has to offer as a whole, with as many agents, as many paid employees that we have at our disposal, working on these things constantly, night in, night out, day in, night out, whatever it is. They're there. They're providing added value, just like what we supply to you guys. However, if you don't have questions for me, then I'm not a mind reader. I don't claim to be. When you have questions, you've got to ask them. We have these calls every single week on Tuesdays. Danalytics, that email will go out today, guys. We were having technical difficulties with Dan's account because it was basically Zoom bombed, but we've changed the passcode. Keep an eye out for that, okay? If you're here live or you're watching this at a later point in time, the new passcode will be sent out via email, okay, alongside the link. So you can join us for Danalytics. It's either going to be Tuesday nights, it's going to go back to Tuesday nights at 8 p.m., or it's going to be Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., but clear your schedule one way or another. Do not forget that Connor has Monday morning masterminds every Monday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's different. What we talk about on our calls is production, how to sell real estate, how to prepare yourself, right? How to prepare your clients. Connor's is more focused towards agent attraction, because that is a massive component that a lot of agents just don't understand about our business model, okay? It has set me completely financially free. I could never sell a home again, and I had nothing to worry about, right? There are options here at this brokerage, but at the same time, we are a real estate brokerage. We do sell real estate. We sell homes. I still sell homes. Just because I don't have to doesn't mean I don't want to, because I love what I do. I also love helping people, but I can't help anybody if I'm not being asked the questions, right? Miss Jeanette Hernandez, she hit the nail on the head. She basically said, Mike is the crystal ball, okay? He's a resource. You have to ask him a question. You have to rub the crystal ball, okay? Figuratively speaking, okay? Even though I have no hair, you gotta ask your questions, guys. You ask your questions. Those of you who know me know if I don't get back to you within seconds, it'll be minutes. If not, I'm probably dead. Or if it's on the weekend, it will absolutely be delayed, because I believe in work-life balance, okay? But there's a ton of resources out there. But you guys have to take advantage of your upline, the people who've sponsored you, okay? The people who've led you here, and take advantage of the resources. And that includes your state brokers, right? This seller's kit and this buyer's kit is something that we've created as additional value. You want to use it, use it. You don't have to, right? But understand the processes regardless. Understand what it is to work with a buyer. Understand what it is to work with a seller. Become well-versed in this, whether you've done it yourself or you haven't. And it's like riding a bike. You're going to do it once, you're going to do it twice, you're going to do it 3 times. You're going to understand, you're going to learn. You're going to learn something new every single time you're working with a client. It's so important. It's so important that you learn. And it's so important that you understand. So long as you baseline your processes, you treat every client the same. There's nothing to think about at that point. I don't care if you're $1 million seller or buyer. I don't care if you're a $100,000 seller or buyer. You're going to be treated the same. Right? And if I can leave you with any advice, it is exactly that. Baseline your processes. Okay? Don't try to go above and beyond for certain clientele. If you're going to go above and beyond for certain clientele, go above and beyond for all clientele. Really important. Really important. Again, I could tangent. 9:50. We're getting towards the top of the hour. I will open it up. I can talk about the seller's kit, the buyer's kit, anything real estate related. This is your opportunity. Please feel free. The floor is open, guys. And if you have a question, there is no dumb questions. There's no silly questions, because a question that you may have may be a question that somebody else on this call has. Right? These calls aren't just geared towards brand new agents. Okay. Right. They're geared towards our organization. Right. It's collaboration is something that we believe in. We love. We just launched Harry. We dropped him on Facebook. How many people welcomed them to our family? A ton of people, right? So again, that's what we believe in. That's one of our, core values. So if you have a question, please feel free, unmute yourself, put it in the chat box, and let me know.
Hey, Mike, what time frame do you normally experience when you're get someone under a listing agreement to the point where they can are comfortable showing it? I mean, putting it on the market, because some of these houses I'm inside of are kind of hoarded up, and they're going to need some paint and carpet and that kind of stuff. And sometimes they don't have any place else to go, so they've got to be there, not be there on showing days or open houses. But is it like 3 weeks is normal, or 2 weeks, or a month?
As far as preparing the home to be ready to be shown, Tom?
Yeah, like how the seller has to do certain things. I mean, I offer to go take things to the dump for them. I mean, I've done a lot of crazy stuff to get them out.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean that depends. Are they going to be hiring professionals to come in and do the job, to prepare the home, to be ready to, so it's marketable, right? So, for example, I have a listing coming up in Hamilton, New Jersey, and I spoke with the seller about a month and a half ago, and the seller needed to do some work. I had to be honest. I had to be very honest with them. I need deep cleaning. I need fresh paint, touch-ups. I need the yard to be well manicured. I need the home to be power washed.
My contractors can get those things done fast once their junk is out or out of the way. You know what I mean? It's like I had a client, a potential client, just delay me a couple more months because she just can't deal with her stuff. She works full time, has 3 kids, and she's like, "There's just too much stuff here. I can't even think about where it's going to go."
Well, that's predicated on their motivation, right? How motivated are they? They're clearly not that motivated to sell. Are we stressing to them? The simple fact of the matter is this: time equals money, right? And this market with, obviously rising interest rates, okay, lack there of inventory, this could be a great time to capture as much as humanly possible. That the sooner we can get this thing on the market, listed and sold, the better. The more that they're going to make, the more they're going to walk away with, right? So again, it really depends on their motivation. And I got to be honest with you, Tom, if they're not motivated, then I'm not motivated. That's the way I look at it. If you're going to take another 2 months, I'm not talking to you for the next 2 months. Right. That's everybody is different, but that is exactly how I operate my business. I have another listing coming up in Tom's River, and we talked again, and that was another one a month and a half ago. She's still getting ready. She's still got things to do. Okay. When you're ready, I'm ready. I'm confident in my abilities. A lot of my business, remember, keep in mind also, to be fair, is referral-based business. So I know they're not going anywhere else. Right. I make them feel comfortable, make them feel confident, but I let them know when you're ready, I'm ready. You're not ready, I am not ready. Right. So, but you can. So when it comes to taking that listing agreement, well, then sometimes it's good to light a fire, right? So maybe you put in, you signed the listing agreement that day with an effective start date of, boom, 3 weeks from now. That's when we go live. So that means we need to have the home cleaned. We need everything removed. It needs to be market ready. The photos have to be done, turned around, and listed. We have 3 weeks. Time is of the essence, right? And so you can light a fire, and you can do that absolutely. To really go back to your point, I like to give them 2 weeks, right? I really don't like any more than 2 weeks. I become a little more lax with it. You want a month, you want a month and a half, whatever. I'm still going to sell it. I have no doubt in my abilities to do that. But you should be setting a time. Yeah, you don't want to tell them, take a month or 2. No. Take 2 weeks. Okay, take a week. Maybe a week's not enough, but really, to go back to answer your question, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. That's the effective date. And guess what? If it ain't then, now we have to go back and we got to sign more paperwork, because now we have to amend, or we have to change, and we have to edit the listing agreement, right? Because what's going to happen if that listing isn't live within 48 hours of the effective date? Well, you can get audited by the MLS, right? And same thing with EXP, and that's a no-no, okay? So let's avoid signing any more paperwork. 2 weeks, the deadline. That's how long you have. Light the fire. Make sure they're motivated, and check in with them. Hey, how are things going? Where are we at? Okay. Excited to get this home ready. Excited to get my photographers in there. Excited to get it on the market. 2 weeks. That's my recommendation. And if they're not motivated and they're taking their time, then scale back. Scale back. You cannot be the one who is motivated to sell this home. That is not how this works. It never will work that way. They have to show that they're motivated, that they are interested, let alone motivated, remotely interested, let alone remotely motivated in order to sell this home. They have to be, Tom, because otherwise you are going to be working, and you're going to be working, and you're going to be working, and you're going to be giving up your time for something that inevitably may never even sell. Okay. You may not get the opportunity, or everything that you're doing is going to be in vain because you're going to end up redoing it all over again once they are ready. And I'm not saying be forward or brash, right? Or up, or in their face, more or less, when it comes to this. Just be clear, concise, and set the expectation. And if you can do that, they're going to respect you for it. 2 weeks.